What's going down, D-Gens? Back for week 10 with a good week as far as the straight picks are concerned. The teasers fucked me over as usual. Hopefully you were not following on those, but if you were, we still had a winning week, so either way we're good. Um, Quick recap, and then we'll get into the picks and some of the updates for the spreadsheets and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, 3-0 last week on the straight up picks. Let's start with that. Actually, let's start with the teasers. Let's start with the bad news first. Just because, masochistic and all. So Bucks and Texans under 46 fucks us over real good because that game just flew over. I think it went over like at the end of the third quarter. Nobody saw that coming. Algorithms didn't have that coming, nothing like that. CJ Stroud just balled out, 5 touchdowns. I mean, he had 35 points on his damn own. So, it is what it is. The Bucks were, able to actually keep up, which was surprising as well. They didn't really push the ball any, honestly. They had like one big play to Mike Evans, and that was pretty much it. But whatever, it goes over. So we lost that one, but we did win the other side of the teaser, which kind of pisses me off because I wish I would have just flipped these around because we won one leg, we lost the other. Same thing happened in the second teaser. We got the Commanders plus 9.5 at the Patriots. Commanders actually win outright in that game. We just couldn't get the Vikings-Falcons under 44. Same thing in that one. Game goes over really quickly. A lot of this, like I said, was really just quarterbacks playing better than expected. Heineke, not so much. Heineke did not look good. If you go back and watch a game, he missed a lot of passes, just not looking great. I guess he's technically better than Ritter, but it's not like a huge upgrade by any means. Vikings, that was crazy that Josh Dobbs was able to do that coming off the bench with no prep time. Guy balled out. He did good, did great coming off the bench with no prep. The Falcons, they had like one offensive touchdown the entire day. Everything else was field goals and a safety. So Falcons kind of lived up to what we were expecting from them with a bunch of nothing. But again, it goes over. Something that was just unexpected. It's really hard to handicap when you see a quarterback that's not, you're not expecting. And I think the Falcons got kind of taken off guard too. Not that they had a whole lot of tape on can't remember the damn guy's name, the one that was supposed to Jaron Hall, but again, it goes over. Now, as far as the stuff we got right, so number one, last week I instituted the purple pick, right, which is when we take two teams that we have been estimating correctly for at least 3 weeks. That means both sides, so their totals or their final score has been within one standard deviation, which is a touchdown, from what we expect. So there's only a handful of those teams. Well, I say there's a handful. There's 20 of them. But we're going to take two of the teams that are actually playing each other. So that's a real select handful of teams that are not just predictable, but are also playing each other and have a spread or a total where we want it to be. In this case, last week it was the Giants-Raiders. We had under 38.5. We were projecting that game to be about 34 points. Ended up at 36, but we got it at it got the under 38.5, so we win that one. Some of that, I guess we did get kind of lucked out with Daniel Jones going out, but either way, we get the win. My favorite pick on the week was Ravens minus 5.5 versus the Seahawks. That is also another particular look, like a situational look, because we have the cumulative scores that we've been keeping track of, like a playoff, strength of schedule, all that kind of stuff. And if you didn't see it in the last video, we'll go back to it here in just a second. But that's what led us to that pick, and that one cashed easy. It was like 37-3 was the final score. And then the last play was Colts minus 2.5 at the Panthers. Again, that was another just strictly algorithm play. The sheets, led us to it, and we picked it, and we win. So let's just follow the numbers, right? Stay along with the sheet, pick the spots that we like. There's a couple of real select spot plays this week, and they're all on the pick sheet here. So again, week 9 with the straight up picks, 3-0, which brings just the straight sides and totals, if that's all you're playing, to 23, 12, and 1, up 9.8 units. We've had 2 losing weeks in the entire year. It was week 3 and week 8 with the straight up picks. So 2 weeks out of 9 is not bad at all. Obviously up almost 10 units, so that's good. So if you're playing $100 a hand or $100 a wager, you're up almost $1,000 at this point. So good, right? We are where we should be, and the good news is the algorithm is getting even better. And this part of the year, and actually from really week 13 onward, we should expect to be even better than what we're doing now. So that's all positive. So as for the Week 10 picks, the purple pick for this week, again, the two teams that we've been predicting correctly with their scores that are playing each other this week is the Colts and Patriots. And we have the Colts and Patriots Colts minus 1.5 versus the Patriots. That line is still up right now, but it has been kind of moving around. I think it's actually down to -1 right now. Either one is fine. So, obviously the 1 or the 1.5 is, I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep over. Just grab the Colts if you're going to follow the spreadsheet this week. Ravens minus 5.5, minus 5.5 versus the Browns. Now that one has moved to 6. That one is another spot play. Again, that's going to be off of our playoff predictor sheet. And honestly, that game, I don't expect it to even be necessarily close. Now, I'm saying that, and of course, watch it fucking happen because I'm going to kick myself in the ass. But everything I have here is pointing to the Ravens being a much, much better team than the Browns. And we'll go over some other stuff in that in just a second because I'm also on the total on that one. Lions minus 1.5 at the Chargers. Now, this is kind of a unique play because all the numbers here point to this line being very accurate. It's everything I have, the algorithms, the spreadsheet, the playoff stuff. It all shows that the Lions should be about 1 to 1.5 point favorites versus the Chargers. There's two things that are making me pick the Lions, though, in this spot. So, number one, the Chargers are the Chargers. They have not beat any good teams. They typically do not beat good teams. They can go kind of 50-50 when it comes to, like, one-score games. But typically their one-score games aren't who you would expect them to be in one-score games with. They get in one-score games with shitty teams. And the teams that are, really good, like the Chiefs, they might come down to a one-score game, but it's because they're down by 2 or 3 scores and they rally back at the fourth quarter and end up losing. So either way, give me the Lions minus the 1.5. But secondly, and really this is probably the more important reason for you here, it's not just a feel thing. The Chargers played Monday night in New York against the Jets. The weekend that we had the time change, right, where everybody moved back an hour. So their time clocks kind of got messed up, but I mean it's good because they were playing on the East Coast, so they worked out in their advantage. But they're playing in New York later than they would have been playing the previous week. On top of that, they have to fly back Monday night, so they don't even get to walk through Tuesday. They're not really practicing till Wednesday to start instituting all this stuff for the Lions. The Lions, however, have been on bye. They were on a bye week last week. Everybody's healthy now. Amon-Ra St. Brown looking good. Jared Goff was already healthy. They should be getting David Montgomery back. Gibbs is still healthy, obviously. The defense is healthy. Everything looking the Lions' way for this particular pick, and all those little edges as far as travel and rest and all that kind of stuff typically takes the most toll after week 13. But after week 8, you start to see it kind of add up. The Chargers already had their bye week. The Chargers had a bye week in week 5. It's already been 5 weeks. This will be the fourth straight game since that bye week. And it should be a physical game against the Lions, and they just played a pretty physical game against the Jets. So, Lions minus 1.5 versus the Chargers. Now, here's the total. And this is one of those plays that I told you about before the season started. And I said, hey, look, guys, I found a particular angle. It's really, really profitable. I really, really like it. I'm going to go into it, and we can put like life-changing amounts of money on this, and I'm going to let you know when it happens. I can't give you the play. I can't give you where it's coming from or why I'm getting it or how I'm getting it. I can only tell you when it's there because I don't want to ruin the edge. This is one of those plays. Now, the problem is we need to get this Ravens-Browns game hypothetically and hopefully to 31. We want to take the Ravens-Browns over 31. Now, the thing is, obviously, it's not going to ever go that low. Now, there's 2 ways that you can go about this. So, number 1, you can put it in a teaser, which I have done, and you'll see it below. It's over 31.5. Perfect. 31.5 is going to work just fine. Or you can take it down to the lowest key number, which would be 37, and leave it at that. The last time that these two teams played was earlier in the season. I believe it was week 4, and we had a lot of people missing. Deshaun Watson missed that game. Odell Beckham missed that game. Rashad Bateman missed that game. 3 key players missed that game. The total score was 31 points. In these rematches, we tend to see more scoring. Not just because the players are back, but just because the coaches have seen what the other coach wants to do. They're making their adjustments. They have their film. We see it go over. I'm taking the over 37 here. Now, I'm actually going to do both. And so I'm taking a pretty big amount. Let's just say it's about 5 units. I'm going to split it up. I'm going to put 2.5 units on the over 37, another 2.5 units on the teaser. So if you're playing $100 regularly, that's $250 for the teaser, $250 for the over. This is the best look I'm going to have this week, is the over 37, or again, more specifically, the over 31.5 in the teaser. I'm telling you guys, it's looking like everyone's taking the under in this game. We're going to be contrarian and take the over. Again, besides the key players, we have coaching data, we have back data, we have years of back data. Yes, these two teams usually play it close. However, Baltimore's offense is looking better than ever. Cleveland has been playing above expectation. The defenses are both very, very good. However, this is a divisional game. Typically, when we see these teams blow up, they're in divisional matches because those other teams know them. Give me the over 37. If you do decide to tease it, the team that I'm pairing this up with is the Packers-Steelers under 44.5. This game, the Packers-Steelers, that is, I'm expecting it to be 20-14, one way or the other. Because right now the algorithm has the Packers scoring 20, the Steelers scoring 14. I don't really believe the Packers side of that is accurate, just because the data looks good, but they haven't played anybody that great, and they really have not put up those kind of points other than last week. So the algorithm was perfect last week. It put up exactly what we were expecting to, but they played against one of the weakest defenses and a team that really wasn't giving it 100%, or at least it didn't look like it. I don't expect to see another 20 points out of Green Bay for a while, maybe not even for the rest of the year, but especially against this Steelers team, I would expect them to score 14, if not less. The Steelers on the other side, though, I do expect them to get to at least 14 and probably closer to 20. This should be a 20-14 kind of game. So taking the under right now, which I believe is at 37.5 or 38, depending on where you're at, is good. Now, the line has consistently moved up. It started at 37. It went to 37.5. It's currently at 38. So if you want to take the under 38 by itself, I'm not going to blame you. The only reason that I wanted to add this to the teaser is because I do believe there is an opportunity for a late score, a late touchdown, especially the way the Steelers play. This could be like a 14-13 game or a 17-14 kind of game, and then we get like a last-minute touchdown from the Steelers to get them the win, and they push that over the total, right? So if you want to wait for it, wait as long as you can, because this line is going to continue to go up and up and up and up and up, and we want to, again, take the under. So if you can wait till the very end. The only problem is with the teaser, that Ravens-Browns game, you may see that line move against you. So time that as best as you can. But either way, if you wanted to do one or the other individually, which is Ravens-Browns over 37 or Packers-Steelers under, personally, I would want to get it to at least 41. But if you want to take just the under 38.5, that's fine too. But those are the two plays for the totals this week, and I'm just teasing them together to make it more beneficial for me and to cover all the numbers that I want to get. So those are the picks. Real quick, here's the update on the playoff predictor. The Ravens still the best team by far at 196 cumulative points, just meaning they have the best strength of schedule and margin of victory. Just overall best team in the NFL right now. Now, this isn't an end-all, be-all kind of list, obviously, right? Because some of this shit is just not like... In this one, the Cowboys are over the Eagles. It's close. It's 117 to 114, so it's not like a huge discrepancy. But obviously, you're not going to just take this for face value and leave it at that. Something like the Lions-Chargers, the Lions should be better than the Chargers, which means they should be, about a 1-point favorite. So that makes sense. So that's a look at this, just the update on it. Like I said, I have added the Chargers in here. They weren't on here last week, and after moving to 4-4 and the Rams moving down to 3-6, I consider taking the Rams out. But I still think that if Matt Stafford can get healthy, that team has an outside shot at least of making a wild card. So I'm gonna probably leave them in here until they get to 8 losses, right? Like if it's 4-8 or something like that, or 5-8, I would just go ahead and take them off. But for right now, it doesn't do any harm to just leave them on there. If and when I do take them off, I'll probably just replace them with the Saints. I think the Saints are going to be relatively, the same as far as their position on this chart. So that's where that's at right now. Let's take a look at some other items. Style teams. Nothing's really changed too much here. Same stuff. Same teams I would expect to be under. Same teams we're going to tease against. All that kind of stuff. The only thing that is real different here, or something that went from 8-0 to 8-1, is this Raiders team. So teasing against them, it was undefeated until they played the Giants, and the Giants are just shitty enough to make that not work. But let me take a look here. This is the DVOA grade here, and again, not too many huge changes. However, I did add one more column to the list, and that's going to just be air yards. So, the quarterbacks that are playing for their individual teams, how far are they throwing, when they're throwing, and I should put average yards per attempt, right? But good indicator as far as how the offense is going. Are they throwing short? Are they throwing deep? Typically, the teams that are throwing deep consistently and relatively accurately are the teams that are going to do the best. The teams that are going to be passing 3-4 yards downfield, like the Cardinals, not so much. So that additional row has been added in. DVOA stuff has been updated. The EPA has been updated. All that kind of stuff. Like I said, it's been pretty accurate. I would say we're still at about 20 teams that we are grading accurately every single week, and that is saying that it's within a touchdown, right? So again, good, because it's 20 out of 32. Not to mention, usually we have about 4 teams on bye, so it's really like 20 out of 28. So pretty good. That being said, again, a couple of these teams are pink and purple. That means that we've been accurately predicting those teams for at least 3 weeks at this time. So, as always, if there's a team that you want to know about, if there's a team that you want to, get the expectation for, if you just want the full spreadsheet, let me know. Not a problem, guys. It's all free. Sending it over to you. Just email. Either email me, find me on Twitter. It's at AG_sports21. Leave a comment below. However the hell you want to get a hold of me, let me know, and I'll send you a copy of this spreadsheet. That being said, guys, that's going to be it for today. Hopefully you guys are with me on the picks. Comment below if you're not. You know what? One last thing. I'm sorry. And I know this is at the end of the video, and maybe I'll even start the next video with it. But I got to know. I see a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of touts on Twitter talking about their prop plays and their weekly plays and all that kind of stuff. And they're putting out like ridiculous records, right? It's like, I went 16-8 or 16-6 or 20-5 or whatever. Do you guys, like, if you are listening to someone that's giving you 20 plus plays a week, do you actually play all 20 plays? It just seems ridiculous to me that I would. I mean, I get it. If you're playing like $5 a game or whatever, who cares? But if you're playing for serious money, if you're putting even $100 a play, right, or $200 a play, and I say, yeah, I said serious money, and don't laugh at it, right? Because if it's 20 plays a week, $100 a play, that's $2,000 a week. Now you may be, balling, and you can spend, thousands of dollars a week and just leave it up for, like it's nothing. But for, I think, the average guy right now, even $1,000, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a week, especially if you're new to this, especially if you're taking someone's word that they're a professional at that, and they're giving you 25 plays a week, and you're feeling inclined to take all of them, that's a big investment. I just want to get your guys' feedback on that. Is that something you're interested in? Would you like 20 plays a week? Would you rather me just give you 3 plays a week, or not even me, just in general? Would you rather have someone come in and give you 3, 4, 5 plays a week? You can play some decent money to not just get a sweat going, but so that if you win, you're winning enough to make you feel good on the week, and you have enough, of a risk that you're kind of invested in it? Or would you rather have someone give you 25 plays a game where you're playing $10 a play, And so any individual one you're not really too concerned with, as long as at the end of the week you're at least over 500. You tell me, because I know I'm personally very inclined to just limit my plays, right? Few plays, bigger unit size. But you guys let me know in the comments below. So thanks again. Appreciate the support. I'll see y'all next time.